Hello, everybody, and welcome to episode 69, of the In From Japan podcast, the podcast where we talk about the latest news on Japan-developed games and other things in relation to them. Available on YouTube and in most places podcasts can be found. As always, I'm your host, Erroll Moss, with my co-host, the phenomenon from Suriname, Jason Corder.
I was visibly shaking my head at that, but I'll allow it.
Had to throw it in somewhere. A little housekeeping, check out our Judgment Day reacts, that's up on our YouTube channel, and Pokemon Snap stream highlights number 2 from our second new Pokemon Snap stream shall be up later this week or early next week, depends on how long it takes me to figure out audio stuff and all that. Anyways, without further ado, let's get into the Japanese games we've been playing. So I played a little more Nier Replicant. I kind of have the same issues I had before. I'm going to put it on the back burner for now because of a bunch of other stuff. Just because of a non-Japanese game I'm covering, and then some other other games coming out. I still enjoy it. It's just maybe I'll just put it on the back burner for now and go back to it. Definitely will go back to it later.
Okay.
Because I do like the story still. I haven't gotten that much further in because I was grinding for money.
I was going to ask, do you anticipate seeing yourself touching Nier Automata anytime soon then? Or like in the near future?
Not until I finish Nier Replicant,
because
I feel like.
I think it was a friend of the show, Michael Higham, that said that it's probably a good idea to start with Automata and then go to Nier Replicant and then go back to Automata. Kind of to feel the like, how do I say this?
You're saying get to a certain part in Automata and then go back to Replicant?
No, like I think they were paraphrasing him or mentioning him on the Kind of Funny podcast where they said that. So I assume it's that once you get into the flow and the rhythm of Automata, it would probably make Replicant a lot easier to digest. Or like to forgive its flaws, if you will.
Or maybe we'll see. But as I said, on the back burner for now.
Cool.
Played a little bit more of Monster Hunter Rise. These high rank 6 stars monsters are kicking my butt.
Are you tackling it solo or with people?
I try to get people when I can, but I've noticed that it's usually easiest to get people in the morning for me. Because if it's later, it's less I'm less likely. It's less likely that people will join.
Okay.
And there's also just the fact that a lot of people just dropped off Rise pretty hard.
Yeah, I could see that.
And like some of it is because a lot of people started with World. Might also be because of that weird placement of the end credits.
I think that, and it kind of feels like video game season is starting, and I think with E3 coming up, most of our Twitter timeline is probably in preparation. Putting everything aside that took place the last few months.
Yeah. But hoping to get back to that and playing with friends again soon enough. While I wait for them, because some of them are still working on getting to high rank. And then new Pokemon Snap. It has been great. I really enjoy it, except for the fact that it can be. It's and I've seen this in reviews too. It is a little of a grind, because you're leveling up. You're leveling up all these different areas. And the areas are also split between day and night. And you can only unlock certain interactions when you get like a certain item or get that area to a certain level. And it can be kind of annoying because so you have these, I forgot what they're called. I think they're called like Lumina balls or something.
Yeah.
And you throw them at the Pokemon to make them like kind of glow. But you only have them, when you first get them, you only have them for 2 areas, and then you have to unlock them for the later areas. And
okay.
not only that, but it also kind of goes a little slow because I don't have the turbo boost yet. So that can be a kind of annoying as well. Again, I do really like it. Like, I don't have much else to say about it in general. Right now, but like it's a very nice, wholesome game. Gives me an Animal Crossing vibe almost, just because of how chill it is.
Yeah, I was also thinking that, but I was gonna ask, would you maybe have less of an issue with the grind if you like took shorter play sessions to go through it?
I don't think.
Or is it just...
No, it's not really that.
Is it just that the way it's designed?
Yeah, it's more the way it's designed and doing the courses over and over, and then not necessarily always getting new pictures.
Okay.
I usually get like one or two things that are new or that are a better rating, though. So it's not... It doesn't feel like a second or third trip is like worthless or anything.
Okay, got you.
I still really enjoy it. It's just I feel like it doesn't have the same amount of replayability, or it won't have the same amount of replayability that the first game did. But of course, the first game was a lot shorter and a lot more limited. So,
and most of the people that are playing now were also a lot younger when they played the first game. So I think this might be that, but for a newer generation, and those of us who grew up with Pokemon Snap can just appreciate it for what it is and then probably move on to something else.
Like, again, I still really enjoy it. It's just like, I wish that, like, because there's all that grinding in it, I wish there was a little more, it was like expanded a little more. Like, maybe there wasn't just a set path you went on for every level. Like, maybe there were like certain different paths you could take for each level, so that way you're not seeing, like, going through the same
motions
path each run. Yeah,
so it doesn't have to become monotonous.
Yeah.
Okay.
And like again, with the leveling up thing, like, you're not necessarily doing that, but just it can take so long to level up and get the things you need or want.
Yeah.
That I wish it had that as an alternative.
No, I get it.
Again, still enjoy it. My streams with my buddy Andrew, who has never played, knows nothing about Pokemon. He had it's pretty funny when he saw Machamp the other day.
Oh, was he freaked out?
Because I always forget that, like, even like first generation Pokemon he's not familiar with, besides like Pikachu, because it's Pikachu.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Machamp is like, what is that? And I'm like, that's Machamp. Like, that is, oh.
Yeah. I mean, even in Gen 1, they were pretty out there designs, so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's mostly what I've been doing. I feel like I'm in this weird spot where it's one of those, I'm playing games, but it's also like where like E3 is coming up, and then a bunch of other game releases, so it's just kind of like in this weird limbo where, like, I'm still playing games, but like
not as
I don't want to burn myself. I'm trying not to burn myself out too much.
Okay, no, I get it.
Looks like you've been playing more Xenoblade Chronicles.
Yeah, I've also been playing on the Xbox, but mostly Ubisoft titles, so I can't really speak about that. But yeah, I've played more of Xenoblade Chronicles, which surprisingly took up most of my gaming time this week, which I wasn't expecting with the brand new baby Xbox in my living room. So it's a very interesting game compared to Xenoblade Chronicles 2, because the storytelling is a lot more confident in this one. They don't feel the need to have like gags every 5 minutes or like fan service butt shots and booby shots in every cutscene. It's just like the story is there and they're telling it, and they're not really concerned whether you're like going through, how do I say this? It's not concerned with the fan service gamer, if that makes any sense. It's just doing a confident story, and I'm still enjoying it. It's challenging because the battle system is I want to say most akin to something you'd find in an MMO or even Final Fantasy 12, that kind of auto battle system where you have to choose commands every now and then, and depending on your positioning you get certain bonuses. And then you also have to mix and match your party members to make maximum make maximum efficiency possible. That kind of thing. The only things I don't like are the side quests, because they are infuriating, especially the timed ones, because you have to go on some fetch quests or kill quests, and then it's dependent on area, time of day, and then when you're done with certain quests, you have to turn them back in. Some don't finish automatically, and when you have to turn them back in, you have to find the quest giver. But the quest giver is also stuck on a certain loop, like time of day, where you are in the story. So sometimes you'll have this exclamation mark in your side quest journal screaming at you, and you don't know how to get rid of it, and it's just annoying. And then I was talking about the bonding moments last week. I still think it's a good idea to have them. I only dislike that there are certain requirements to be met before you can access them, because I don't change my party all that much, and that is getting me into trouble because I can't access any of these bonding moments because none of my other party members are on the same level of affinity as the ones in my main party. And then I'm like, okay, I guess I won't see those extra story tidbits. I'll just power through the main story. And I've put about 40 hours in it, I think, and
So that would mean you're like almost done, right?
No.
Isn't it like around 60 hours?
No, I'm like...
Am I wrong?
I just cleared the prison island thing, where the thing you were trying not to spoil last week happened. So I don't think I'm at half of the game yet, because I was reading the plot synopsis, and it seems like it's like the first quarter of the game story, if that makes sense.
You only got to the first twist. So something like that. So that's pretty much been 51 hours main story, but since you're doing main plus extras, around 78. Okay.
Yeah, it's probably going to be within the 60 to 80 hours range before I'm done. And then there's the future connected thing, and depending
I'm still gonna finish that.
Depending on how I feel at the end of it, I might do a new game in Xenoblade Chronicles 2, because then I probably have the right frame of mind to appreciate what it is, or maybe not, but we'll see.
Now, do you think after have played both, do you think you'll become more interested in like a future port of Xenoblade Chronicles X if they ever did one? I know that they said that would be hard to do because of online stuff, but it's stuck on Wii U.
It just stuck on me. Will I look forward to it? Yes and no. Yes, because sci-fi and mechs. No, because Monolith Soft cannot stop themselves or help themselves when they are creating world maps. Those maps are expansive. Like, you have no idea how so much size was able to be fit on a a DS cartridge or a Wii disc, and even on Switch, it feels like they made magic happen and crammed all of it on one flash drive, and it's like, this feels weird and cool and amazing, but still weird. Like, how? And you can see that talent and why they are such a hot commodity within Nintendo, and how they're always helping out on other franchises. The thing I do like is that you have a mech you can use to traverse the overworld in Xenoblade Chronicles X, and you have kind of like a dedicated run button, it seems.
Yeah.
So those two being a thing would make it a lot more likely, but I just whenever I think about Xenoblade Chronicles, I get excited, and then it immediately gets deflated because I'm just thinking about the open world fatigue of just traversing through it all. But yeah, I guess we'll see if Xenoblade Chronicles X drops.
All right. And I know Monolith Soft they're also working on a possible new game. They're working on something.
Yeah.
We know they're working on something.
They've been staffing up for certain projects.
Yeah.
They most recently helped with Hyrule Warriors 2, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes.
But we'll see.
And they're probably helped with Breath of the Wild 2 as well.
Yeah, that's more than likely. Yeah.
But yeah, we know from some information that they're working on their own stuff too, obviously. But anyway, moving on to the In From Japan J list, where we talk about recent video game related entertainment news. One, I didn't put this on here, but I believe the last season of the Castlevania Netflix series is out now.
Yeah.
And apparently it's pretty good.
Yeah.
Which is good because a lot of people were not down with season 3, it seemed like, because season 3 was a lot more setup. I actually never finished season 3.
What I think it was the producers that said that a sequel set within the Symphony of the Night world is unlikely because so much of that story has already been covered within those 4 seasons of the Netflix show.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
But anyways, Demon Slayer Mugen Train becomes the first Japanese film in history to make 50 billion yen at the worldwide box office. The film currently stands at 50.15 billion yen, US 458.59 million worldwide. This is by Daryl Harding for Crunchyroll. Just as Golden Week ends, the box office receipts come pouring in. And as theorized 2 days ago, as of its 202nd day in Japanese theater, Demon Slayer Kimetsu no Yaiba, the movie Mugen Train, has become the first Japanese film to ever pass 50 billion yen at the worldwide box office. Mugen Train had already passed Spirited Away as the highest grossing Japanese film of all time, so it was only a matter of when Mugen Train would break this historic barrier.
You know what?
So I'm wondering if the success of Demon Slayer will convince like more mangaka to make shorter shonen stories. Because Demon Slayer was only out for a couple years and then finished.
I'd say that's probably unlikely because they don't write manga chapters with movies in mind or story arcs with movies in mind.
That's true.
That's
true. Just because you have a manga doesn't mean you'll get an anime.
That is definitely true. It also depends on editorial wishes. If there's a production committee and what the wishes are.
But I am sure, like, I wouldn't be surprised if some mangaka are thinking of, like, how long their story is going to be and maybe, like, they shorten theirs a little bit.
I think it's unlikely.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Because the length of a manga means guaranteed employment. Even if it comes at the cost of health in most cases. So I don't think people will be thinking, hey, I have this like 10 volume story, go make a movie out of it. It also depends on the popularity and how much the story resonates. What I do think is amazing about the the Kimetsu no Yaiba movie is that it's not a standalone movie. It's
Yeah, that too.
It's like smack dab in the middle of a long running story. So for it to be able to conquer the global box office like it has is quite the feat.
I guess the first season is also pretty easily accessible now as well.
Yeah, that is true.
And it's not super long either.
Nope, that is true.
Cause like with this other stuff, like manga, this kind of manga surprises me sometimes. Like My Hero Academia is in its probably final arc in the manga.
They did say that,
and
yes.
That only started like what, 5-6 years ago.
But whenever a manga
anime will still be going for a while.
Whenever a mangaka announces, "Hey, you know what? We're heading into the final arc," it's never going to be like within 5 or 10 chapters. It's always going to take a long time.
Well, not necessarily. I don't think like this. Maybe a year or two at the most for My Hero Academia to end. It's not like One Piece where Oda's like, "Oh, I think we have around 5 to 10 years left."
I think you underestimate their power.
Yeah. I don't know. We'll see.
It depends.
I think the manga will end sooner than you think.
I think we still have a good.
Not by a lot.
I think we still have a good 2 years.
Yeah, that's what I say. I say rough. I'd say 2 years. Well, 2 years. I'd say max.
I say minimum, but we'll see. We should maybe make this the first official in from Japan bet.
Why did I forget?
Winner gets game of choice.
Winner gets it's a pizza bet. New Dragon Ball Super movie revealed for 2022 is our next story. This is once again from Crunchyroll by Joseph Luster. This year's Goku Day celebration is going full Super Saiyan because Toei Animation just revealed plans for a new Dragon Ball Super movie featuring a brand new story by Dragon Ball creator Akira Toriyama, who also provided character designs and even wrote lines of the script. The movie is currently scheduled to premiere sometime in 2022. Akira Toriyama shared a message to Dragon Ball fans around the world. An all-new movie since Dragon Ball Super Broly is currently in the making. Just like the previous movie, I'm heavily leading the story and dialogue production for another amazing film. I really shouldn't talk too much about the plot yet, but be prepared for some extreme and entertaining bouts, which may feature an unexpected character. Now that wording has gotten a lot of people speculating.
Why?
Because what did Toriyama do in the last film?
Have Broly be in the movie?
He made a popular movie character. He made a popular not canon character canon. And so some people are thinking, oh, well, maybe he'll finally make cooler canon or something, because I think that's like the second most popular movie villain.
I still say it's a bit too early to start speculating about that.
No, but I know, but like people, that just made a lot of people speculate.
And it's also
we'll be charting through.
Also, the thing you have to take in consideration is the translation. Is that what he said specifically? Is there any context that was missing when translated from Japanese to English? So
we don't know, but I think we figured out. I think from the threads, it's actually machine. It might be machine translated. So that's why it might not be great.
Yeah.
We'll be charting through some unexplored territory in terms of visual aesthetics to give the audience an amazing ride. So I hope everybody will look forward to the new movie. Make PyCon canon. That's all I'm going to say about that.
I say pecan, but okay.
In the English dub, he says PyCon.
Yeah, I know.
So that's just what I'm used to. Pecan would be more correct.
I just hope they have fun with it. Like
the problem with doing cooler, they already had Frost.
Yeah, I mean, just give me
and Frieza.
Give me something new, like the last Broly movie. It's Broly, but it gave enough of a twist that it gave Broly some character and dimension that
he was an antagonist, but he wasn't an antagonist because he was the villain. He just goes berserker mode.
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Although I kind of like, I like the original Broly because he was like, not that he was a good villain, but he was like kind of like sadistic and I don't know.
You know what I want to see is if they can manage to make Super Saiyan 4 canon. With every
that's what people are. There are some people speculating that as well because Broly's like berserk form is kind of like was kind of leaning towards that. It seemed like
well, silhouette wise, it kind of looks like it. I can see
and the
that,
eyes and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wonder. We'll have to wait to find out. I'm excited though because people have been clamoring for new Dragon Ball Super animated content. The manga's still going, and right now it's in a pretty interesting arc with a dude named Granola and from the planet Cereal.
I mean, Dragon Ball naming conventions stay winning.
I know.
Yeah.
Next is speaking of Akira Toriyama, Dragon Quest Island attraction grand opening set for this week. This is by Kite Stenbook for Silicon Era. Square Enix and Nijigen no Mori will hold the grand opening of Dragon Quest Island on Saturday, May 15, 2021. The Nijigen no Mori amusement park also started selling tickets for the game-based attraction on its webpage on May 10, 2021. The tickets are available in 3 different tiers. The regular 3,400 yen ticket will simply let visitors enjoy the main attraction for approximately 2 hours. A sub-quest set at 5,400 yen will add an hour-long bonus test to join Robin Hood's Merry Men. The most expensive premium ticket, priced at a whopping 11,400 yen, will come with an exclusive item set containing an adventure book cover, a neck strap, and a backpack designed after a shield. The full ticket prices will apply to people ages 12 and up. Minors between the ages of 5 and 11 will have reduced ticket price. Those who are 4 years old or younger can get in for free, provided a parent or guardian accompanies them. I want to go to Dragon Quest Island.
I'd say maybe wait because if...
No, I mean, I can't go right now, but obviously.
Yeah, I was going to say if
maybe someday.
If the Mario Land attraction is any indication, they'll probably be closing sooner too.
Yeah, because this was actually slated to open on April 29th, but then a COVID-19 state of emergency enacted in late April 2021 included the Hyogo Prefecture, which covered the Awaji Island where the Nijigen no Mori amusement park is located. So hopefully this will still be around in the future. Dragon Quest is big enough that I could see it not just being temporary. Or big enough in Japan, I mean.
That is true.
So hopefully it's still around for when it's safe to go back there again. And last on the J list we have Scarlet Nexus anime begins airing July 1st. Scarlet Nexus anime, this is from Sao Romano for Gamatsu. The Scarlet Nexus anime will begin airing on July 1st, Bandai Namco announced. In Japan, it will broadcast on Tokyo MX, BS11, and SUN TV. And that's the staff and cast, and there's a trailer, and that's it.
Are you excited for it?
The anime?
Yeah.
I mean, I'm more excited for the game, and we'll talk about that a little later. I forgot there was an anime coming until I read that. I'm like, oh yeah.
I'm kind of on the fence of it because anime adaptation of video games are kind of especially when it's in conjunction with the game releasing, is kind of hit or miss. And I'm not impressed by the character designs for the anime themselves, but it could be that they chose this design because it adds more fluidity in the battle scenes, but I guess we'll see.
Yeah. So next, we're moving on to recommended content other than news from the past week listed out, links in the description. We have How RGG Studio is charting a new future with Lost Judgment and Yakuza Like a Dragon by Matt T.M. Kim for IGN. The Animation That Changed Me, Peter Chung on Space Adventure Cobra by Alex Dudok DeWitt for Cartoon Brew. How Neo, The World Ends With You is designed for a new era by Michael Higham for GameSpot. The Untold Drama and History behind Final Fantasy V's fan translation by Steve Wright for IGN. Also, there's a really good boss fight book on Final Fantasy V by Chris Kohler.
Yeah, I'm reading it right now. It's a really good read.
It's fascinating.
Yeah.
New every canceled Game Boy Advance game, Mario, Zelda, Pokemon, and more by Did You Know Gaming.
This is an amazing video.
It's like an hour-long video,
Yeah.
and I haven't finished it yet.
Yeah.
But once again, really fascinating.
Yeah.
And Scarlet Nexus' anime-style action has potential, but hasn't fully impressed yet by Michael Higham once again for GameSpot. Michael, how dare you?
Don't break Errol's heart.
No. Also, no, I think Mitchell Saltzman, I forgot to put his on here because I didn't want to double up on too much
Michael
of the same
Higham.
stuff. No, what?
You have two.
No, I said
by
Mitchell
Michael.
Saltzman.
No, I said.
Yeah, I have two by Michael Higham.
That's-
Yeah,
that's
I have
what
two
I
by
mean,
Michael
yeah.
Higham, and I could have just switched it.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think he had a slightly more positive preview. Not that Michael's wasn't. It's just like, just a little more positive leaning. It seemed like.
Mm-hmm.
Like he liked the preview a little more.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, go check those out. I'll add that link to the pastebin too.
Okay.
So next it's time for the news rundown. We have a couple pieces of baddish news this week, unfortunately. So I'll let the bearer of bad news and Shinigami take it away.
Yeah. I have a sore throat, so I won't be screaming Bankai. First up, we have.
Did you say like Bankai?
Like, what's this? Hawaii Smash? Because Hawaii is small in comparison to the other United States.
What?
Hawaii as an
Hawaii?
island and state is smaller than the other states, so it's kind of a joke.
Oh! You're making a My Hero Academia joke, and
Yeah.
I totally went over my
Okay, first up we have Japanese
Hawaii slap.
Japanese entertainment media market shrank by 4.8% in 2020. This is by Rafael Antonio Pineda for Anime News Network. Media research and promotion company Human Media released the 2021 edition of its Media Content Market Database for Japan and the World document on March 31st. Human Media valued the 2020 Japanese media content at 13.1076 trillion yen, which is about 120.36 billion US dollars, a 4.8% reduction from 2019. The United States market had a worse contraction with 6% reduction year on year from 2019 to 2020.
This is an interesting story. It wasn't really like I don't know. It's just like everything. I'm sure a lot of things.
I think it's not only looking at, let's say, digital purchases for movies and video games or physical purchases in that case, but more like, are people going to the cinema? Are people going to amusement parks, arcades, that kind of thing, concerts? I think because of COVID and because those things aren't really possible, the entertainment industry suffered kind of a bit of shrinkage. So it all makes sense to me. Next up, we have Target will stop selling Pokemon cards in store. Real quick, Brian Altano made a comment on Walmart also doing the same thing. He's like, but they still sell guns. Go figure. This is by Mitchell Clark for The Verge. Target has decided that it's had enough. The company has officially confirmed to Bleeding Cool that it will halt the sales of Pokemon cards throughout the US starting Friday, May 14th. The retailer cites an abundance of caution for the safety of both guests and store employees and notes that it will still be selling the cards on its site. You can blame the current nation's obsession with Pokemon cards. So thanks, millennials. Next up, we have Pokemon centers in Japan to stop selling new Pokemon cards for customer safety, even in Japan. This is by Daryl Harding for Crunchyroll. All around the world, it's getting harder and harder to buy Pokemon cards. After the crazes in the United States, which has seen some shops refuse to sell the cards in store, it seems the franchise's home country of Japan is following suit. The Japanese Pokemon Center website released a statement today announcing that new sets scheduled to be released on May 28th will only be sold online through Pokemon Center Online and will not be available through many of the Pokemon centers throughout Japan. So, thanks millennials again. And that was it.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. So this is ridiculous.
Why is it ridiculous?
Okay. Because, I mean, it's not ridiculous on Target's part.
Oh, okay.
It's ridiculous because people are being ridiculous about these Pokemon cards. And, like, yes, I know people have gotten new hobbies during the pandemic, and that's fine. But my friend who works at Target said people had been, like, lining up for them when they restocked. And again, people actually had been getting the rare cards out, then resealing the packs, and then returning them so they don't take returns on those anymore.
No, it's absolutely terrifying to see how we made something that's supposed to be for kids and turned it into...
How do you think the kids feel when they're not able to get Pokemon cards, and like that might be the source of joy when they when they aren't able to see their friends?
Yeah, there is that.
As often as they used to.
Yeah.
I mean, I know some schools are back in session. Like the school near me is still back in session. The kids are wearing masks and stuff, but you know, still.
I think this could be a good move to kind of push the online trading card game.
Yes. Okay. That was my next point.
Or maybe even develop a new trading card game for Switch or mobile phones.
This is why I try to support digital versions of card games when I can, because there aren't that many that are consistently updated. You know, they make new Yu-Gi-Oh games all the time. We have the ones that the two that I can think of that are updated a lot, and there are probably some mobile games that I'm forgetting. But there's Duel Links, Yu-Gi-Oh! Duel Links, and there's Magic the Gathering. Is it Magic the Gathering Arena? Or is Arena the other one?
Let me look it up real quick for you. But yeah, you're right. I mean, you also have Hearthstone, you have Shadowverse.
Yeah, but Hearthstone doesn't have physical cards, right?
No, they don't. It's Magic.
So I'm just thinking.
It's Magic the Gathering Arena.
Yes.
So okay. Yeah.
So I was right. So. Yeah, just try to support these card game video games when you can, because I mean, if you enjoy playing them, if you enjoy the collecting aspect more, I can't really help you there.
Yeah, won't someone please think of the children?
Yeah, and finding out that Charizard card that I traded away when I was 5 may be worth around $500,000 now.
Buddy. Mine got burned. Okay.
Rest in peace. You had a Charizard too?
Yeah. I think.
Ironic that it got burned.
I even had the rarer one, Dark Charmeleon.
Now I don't know if it was first edition, because this was like a first edition specific one, and I don't know if the Charizard I had was first edition or not.
Yeah, that's fair.
I just know that at the time, I found out after I traded it that card was like the rarest one and worth $100.
Yep. Oh, to be young again.
Just go tell my friend's brother, hey, you owe me this much money. I'm just kidding. I'm not actually gonna do that. But man, and I was looking up the most expensive Yu-Gi-Oh cards because I still have a couple. the rarest Yu-Gi-Oh card is a tournament exclusive Japanese Black Luster Soldier. That's less of a card. It's like a silver. It's stainless steel.
Mm-hmm.
And it was only given out at the like Yu-Gi-Oh Asia Championships in 1999, I think, or was it Japan?
Okay.
I forgot which, but it was sold last time it sold for $2 million.
That's impressive.
I was like, did Kazuki Takahashi himself like buy that card? But yeah, it's ridiculous, and it's not even and you think it's like, oh well, it must be a Western American problem. No, it's not even just that, because our next story. Wait, did you go over this one already?
Yeah, the Pokemon Center one in Japan.
Japan, yeah. So even in Japan, and then there's like the card shortage and everything. The two stories kind of blend together. My bad.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's getting ridiculous. At least my Yu-Gi-Oh cards are safe for now, but how long will that last now? And then these new Digimon cards that they just recently like localized, they didn't make that many of them, so that's kind of a different issue, because those have been kind of hard to find, and I'm kind of interested in trying that out. So yeah, it's ridiculous. People just need to settle down, man. These are pieces of cardboard. Why are we giving so much money to pieces of cardboard?
Nostalgia and monetary value.
And greediness.
Yeah, there's that.
And these influencers who are making it popular. Now, I don't mind if you do a thing for fun. If you get a pack of cards and you do it like once or twice for fun, and you're not really trying to get the rare things, you're just like, yeah, that sounds fun, I'll do it. Why not? Just want to join in. But like, if you're trying to buy a bunch of packs and stuff and then not letting anybody else get them and just causing this whole issue, it's just a mess. And the gun thing was over sports cards, wasn't it? Not Pokemon cards?
I'm not sure, but I should check.
What I read, I think it was over sports cards specifically. And that's why they had stopped selling Pokemon and sports cards. But yeah, Magic the Gathering and Yu-Gi-Oh are safe at Target for now. Although, and Walmart took out the whole trading card like section, I guess.
Yeah.
Anyways, enough about that. Support digital card games. But don't support NFTs. Yeah, in other news, Layton's Mystery Journey, Catriel and the Millionaire's Conspiracy Deluxe Edition Plus announced for Switch. Now featuring voice actors from the anime. This is by Saruman for Gamatsu. Level 5 has announced Layton's Mystery Journey, Catriel and the Millionaire's Conspiracy Deluxe Edition Plus for Switch. It will launch on July 8th in Japan for 4,950 yen. It adds the ability to switch between the game's original voice actors and the TV anime Layton Mystery Detective Agency Catri's puzzle-solving vials voice actors at any time during gameplay. Users who already own Layton's Mystery Journey, Catriel, and the Millionaire's Conspiracy Deluxe Edition will be able to upgrade to Layton's Mystery Journey, Catriel, and the Millionaire's Conspiracy Deluxe Edition Plus by purchasing downloadable content due out alongside the upgraded release. It's just voice acting? That's all they did?
I'm sure there's some like retrofitting needed to make it work on a Switch. So I'm not saying it's just like a half a gigabyte patch to add voices.
Yeah, I'm sure we're not getting this, but you can over here, but you can still get the original game. And I would recommend, I haven't played it yet, but I'm probably going to add it to my collection at some point, because who knows what will happen to level 5 in the coming months or years or whatever.
Jason Schreier of Bloomberg News and Triple Click Podcast mentioned that he thinks compared to the other Layton games, this one is on the easier side. I think Kat not Kat.
That makes me more interested in
Nadia Oxford from Active Blood God
friend of the show.
Also said the same, if I'm not mistaken.
Hmm.
Okay, next up.
Oh, great. Next time it goes on sale, maybe I'll pick it up.
There you go. Next up, Lost Judgment to release worldwide in September 2021. This is by Kazuma Hashimoto for Silicon Era. During the Judgment Day presentation, Sega revealed that a sequel to 2018 release Judgment is on the way. The sequel had previously been leaked through the PlayStation Network store, revealing that Lost Judgment will release worldwide on September 24, 2021. And coupled that with a couple of other news that the Yakuza series, or Yakuza, will be split into...
It's just Yakuza. Greg Miller isn't here. We're okay.
Will be split into two types of series. A turn-based RPG series, which will be the mainline Yakuza games, and the action-heavy combat series, which will be the Judgment sub-series. And coupled with this, the VP of Sega said that he'd like to have more titles be multi-platform, which is a good thing, and more of a multi-platform and global release thing. So I guess we'll have a few surprises around E3, maybe further down the road. Who knows?
Maybe.
Yeah. So I just bunched up the
yeah.
three.
That's why I got confused. I was like, wait, you put them all together, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's fascinating because like people weren't sure. People thought like, well, what if they turn the next Judgment turn-based and then go back to... But then Yakuza 7 was just such a success, and they're like, no, we'll keep it turn-based for a while.
Well, Togashi said that it was floated around, that idea to make Judgment turn-based, but ultimately they felt it was better to give each franchise its own unique voice, as it were.
Yeah.
Which I also agree with.
Yeah, I think that's great, because then the people who prefer the older Yakuza games can just play Judgment.
Yeah.
And the people who prefer the turn-based Yakuza games, like me, can go with that.
Yeah.
Although I'm probably going to play both Lost Judgment and Yakuza 8 whenever that comes out. Man, their turnaround time is... Like, I would not be surprised to see something about Yakuza 8 as soon as next year.
I think that's likely, yeah. But they might
turnaround time is
you also have
ridiculous.
those Ishin games that might get a re-release.
That's true.
In the West.
Were they Kiwami? Were they like remakes? Or were they just like ports? Like were they just remasters, or were they like 3, 4, 5 remastered, or were they?
Let me look it up for you.
Kiwami.
You go ahead, and I'll chime in.
I still wish they would make Dead Souls Kiwami with online co-op.
Is it the Dead Souls one kind of like critically panned within the...
That's why you remake it with online co-op.
I mean...
That's how you do a Kiwami version.
You're not wrong. Let's see. I'm not seeing anything. Spin-offs. You have the Kenzan game and the Shinso game. No, that's the PSP one, I think.
Yeah.
Ishin, yeah. It had a PS3 and a PS4 release, so not really a remake, just a re-release.
Yeah, we'll probably get a remaster or something. Yeah.
Yeah, that's about it. Okay. I also did the Sega VP one.
Oh, you did?
Yeah. I mean, the only added thing is that there might be a new Sonic title dropping this year, and
well, because wasn't there supposed to be a new Sonic title announced a while ago, and then the pandemic happened, and then they just haven't announced it yet?
That, and the rumor has it Sonic Colors is also getting a re-release.
Yeah, Sonic Colors Remastered. Didn't that like leak or something?
Yeah.
And some people are like really clamoring for Sonic Mania 2.
Yeah.
Or something.
Because the old art style is so iconic, and I don't think Sonic's gameplay has ever been better than when it was in Sonic Mania. So I guess it all makes sense. Next up is the Sonic and Persona game sales. Do you want me to take it?
Yeah. No, I got it.
Okay.
Sonic and Persona game sales passed 7 million in 2020 by Josh Tolentino for Siliconera. Sega Sammy Holdings, the parent company formed by 2004 merger of developer Sega and amusement company Sammy, posted the public results of the 2020 fiscal year that ended in March 2021. The company's presentation revealed that more than 4.4 million units of Sonic the Hedgehog series games were sold in that period. There were also 3 million units in sales of Persona game titles. Combined, that brings two of Sega Sammy's flagship franchises to more than 7.4 million in combined sales. One major takeaway from the presentation, the ongoing COVID-19 pandemic. It had a clarifying effect on the strengths and weaknesses of different parts of Sega Sammy's business. Sega's consumer games business saw a significant uptick as customers turned to games to pass the time spent at home. By comparison, the pachinko and slot machine sectors, as well as physical amusement facilities, saw big declines over the fiscal year. Restrictions closed some facilities and depressed foot traffic. A major source of loss for the company in the fiscal year came from the expenses needed to restructure its amusement center-related business. This included having a furlough or lay off staff. Major earners for Sega Sammy throughout 2020 included its mainstay franchises. These included Total War, Persona, and Sonic the Hedgehog. Sonic titles broke 4.4 million units sold. Persona game sales broke 3 million units thanks to the release of Persona 5 Royal, Persona 5 Strikers, and even the PC version of Persona 4 Golden. Another spotlight franchise is Total War. I always forget Sega owns it.
Yeah.
The series proved its longevity through strong sales of titles released in 2019 like Total War 3 Kingdoms and Total War Warhammer 2. Sports fans continued to support Football Manager, both the mainline Football Manager 2021 title and the mobile editions, helping the franchise surmount to 3.8 million unit milestone. The rest were made up by more isolated titles and somewhat less numerous franchises like Yakuza, 2 Point Hospital, and Endless Space. In the current fiscal year, that began in April 2021, the company expects earnings to recover in its physical sectors. It's also anticipating further returns from new consumer games, including the releases of announced titles that include Total War Warhammer 3, Lost Judgment, and Shin Megami Tensei 5. Hey, Sega. I don't know why I'm talking like Yogi Bear. I think you need to, you know what else would make you a little bit of money? Port that one game called Skies of Arcadia.
So I've been thinking about this a lot.
For all I care, they can put it as a game inside of Lost Judgment. Just port it somewhere.
The thing is, I've been thinking about this a lot, and critically acclaimed games among fans might not be the most profitable games, and I think at the end of the day, business is still business, and they will speak with or vote with the most profitable franchise. So
I'm not even asking for a sequel. I'm just asking for a port.
Well, fingers crossed.
You can't play it without either spending a lot of money or doing the other thing. So
yeah, sail the high seas like a real sky pirate.
Yeah, like a real. So like, we need something. I don't care if there's no sequel. I just want people to be able to access it.
Well, Heather Alexandria is Alexandria.
Heather Alexandra
Yeah.
is writing that like novel.
Yeah. So
which I very much appreciate. I actually went into her Twitch stream the other day and said so.
Yeah. Nice.
But it's still not the game.
Hey man, I can make miracles happen.
And I remember a while ago, one of the producers or something that of Skies of Arcadia said, like, Sega's listening, like, just keep on being passionate about the game and hopefully you'll get something.
Yeah.
Really?
It tends to happen. Not as frequent as you think, but it tends to happen.
Yeah. Okay, next Sega story. Sega says it plans to release a super game within the next 5 years. Oh boy, I can't wait for Super Skies of Arcadia. The Super Monkey Ball. Oh god, Super Monkey Ball. This is by Chris Scullion for VGC. The company's latest financial presentation suggests something big is in the works. Sega is planning to release what it's calling a super game within the next 5 years, according to a recent presentation. A results presentation for the fiscal year ending in March 2021 broke down the company's financial results in detail, but also give an indication of Sega's plans for the near and long-term future. This includes a 5-year strategy called Creation of Super Game, which Sega suggests will start off with low profitability because it's a new IP, but has high growth potential because it will be sold globally, as opposed to its domestic mobile and amusement machines. The presentation suggests that while Sega prepares the Super Game, it will also release a number of new projects over the course of the next 5 years, including a new FPS title at a European studio and the utilization of IP assets in remakes, reboots, and remasters. The new FPS title is likely to be developed by Creative Assembly, which is currently hiring on its website for various roles for a brand new and exciting first-person shooter IP. Were they the ones who made Isolation?
Yes, Creative Assembly.
Okay. Well, it's a new IP, so it's not Alien. It's not Isolation 2.
It's Alien Colonial Marines 2.
So, you know what's crazy? You know what's like...
What?
The cool thing, the reason why that game turned out so bad?
It's something with the coding got
there was like one small error in the coding that messed up everything.
Yeah.
Somebody fixed it, and there's a working version that's actually a lot better.
Uh-huh. I believe it.
Of course, you have to go and find it, but but like that's just goes to show how development isn't like
straightforward.
Development takes a lot of hard work, but the smallest thing can really mess you up.
Yeah. It's all math, baby.
Old IP being considered for remasters, remakes, and reboots include the likes of Crazy Taxi, Jet Set Radio. Jet Set Radio I can definitely see. Especially with all the Jet Set Radio likes that have been coming out, or a couple of them. There's the Funky Bomb something,
yeah,
and Hover.
And the original Jet Set is also on Steam these days, so...
Yeah. Space Channel 5, Res, Virtua Fighter, which is inside of Yakuza 7. Altered Beast and Streets of Rage. Wait, but didn't we get Streets of Rage 4 recently?
Yeah, but it's done by .emu, if I'm not mistaken. But I think certain franchises these days will fall on their Western branches and not specifically Japanese developed.
Yeah. Alright, so hopefully we got some new cool Sega games. Next up, Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate, final trailer, sequel development progressing well. I'm not going to talk about the trailer itself because it has some spoilers. I haven't actually seen it even. I just heard people complaining that it really spoiled a lot.
Explain it frame by frame.
Final Fantasy VII Remake co-director Tetsuya Nomura also commented on development of the next episode in the remake series. He said, "Development is moving forward quite well. I'd like to perhaps make a proper announcement when the timing is right, E3, but Cloud is running through Mother Nature. You'll be able to enjoy a somewhat different atmosphere from the first game. Well, things are progressing nicely, so please wait for it. The next game starts directly after Intergrade, so I hope you will all also get to play Intergrade."
Nature is healing. I think you'll see an announcement after Intergrade has been widely available.
It'll be really fun. Yeah, it'll be if Final Fantasy VII Remake came out like during kind of near more the beginning of the pandemic, and then by the time the second one comes out, we'll be nearing like the tippy tip end, like the real end. Hopefully.
What I'm most looking forward out of this is when Easy Allies goes into the spoiler mode podcast with Maximilian Dude, because the last one was pretty good.
Did I ever tell you he was in front of me in line to play the demo at E3 2019?
No.
Or no. No, it wasn't to play the demo. I think it was to get a ticket to play the demo the next day.
Oh, that's a coincidence.
I can't remember which. It was either that or it was one of those. And I was like, hey, that's that guy. Yeah, but I'll give it a shot. Again, you know how I feel about Final Fantasy VII Remake and how it's a mediocre game. But
whoa! A mediocre game?
Yeah.
Oh. I mean, you have a PS5
mediocre,
now, so.
a well-made mediocre game, just like God of War 2018.
Whoa!
Yeah.
Off with the left and right hooks here.
All right. And then Final Fantasy VII Remake Integrate exclusive to PS5 until Nier 2022. People hoping for the title on other platforms will have to have a much longer wait for answers. This is by Imran Khan for Fanbyte. The exclusivity window of Final Fantasy VII Remake has always been something of a moving target. When it was first revealed, the trailer proclaimed that the anticipated remake would be first on PlayStation 4, implying a timed exclusivity of undefined length. By the time the game released, that time frame was defined as at least a year, though trailers captured on PC seem to send a message about future platforms. Now with the next-gen version and new content coming soon, the exclusivity has been pushed back even further, with a new trailer stating that Final Fantasy VII Remake Intergrade will be exclusive on the PlayStation 5 for at least 6 months. The disclaimer comes at the end of the final trailer for Intergrade, which just sort of outright starts with major spoilers for last year's Final Fantasy VII Remake release. So be aware of that if you haven't played it and are waiting for this version. What does this new exclusivity window mean for the game? Well, for one, it means Sony seems literally invested in keeping it locked to their platforms. 6 months isn't a huge window, but is an indication that they will likely keep paying for further installments in the series for at least timed exclusivity, like Final Fantasy XVI. While it has never been confirmed that the game will come to other platforms, it seems Sony is keen to ensure any possibility is as far off as possible. What do you think?
What I think is Imran is correct. Although, depending on the wording of the contract, it could be that Intergrade is the one with the new exclusivity deal, and the original one has already expired. So it could be, depending on the wording, that you'd see Final Fantasy VII Remake on Xbox or PC soon-ish.
But not with the DLC.
Exactly, not with the DLC.
Yeah, I can see that. Especially because Xbox has such a good relationship with Square Enix right now anyway than other Final Fantasy games.
Yeah, and if anyone can outbid Sony money-wise, it's definitely Microsoft.
You think
for
so?
Exclusivity. Yeah. Multiple people have suggested that, well, the last couple of weeks, that is, that the reason why Sony isn't being as aggressive with studio acquisitions as Microsoft is because Microsoft is so much bigger as a company, and it has so much more capital than Sony to be spending. So that kind of makes Sony look like the conservative opponent in this competition, if you will.
Yeah. I guess we'll see.
Yeah.
Also, Final Fantasy X 10-2 is now available on Game Pass.
Yeah, it's something you also see a lot when a previously exclusive game comes to other platforms with a different name, kind of as a way to circumvent exclusivity. And yeah. Also a funny thing, the Xbox Game Pass Twitter account put out the announcement tweet for Final Fantasy X all in the alphabet. So that was pretty nifty.
The what?
In Final Fantasy X, there's a fictional language called the Albet language. Okay. And they completely translated it according to that dictionary. So that was pretty cool.
Oh, that's pretty cool, yeah. Next Square Enix piece of news. Dragon Quest 35th Anniversary Special Livestream set for May 27th. Upcoming series lineup to be announced. This is by Saruman for Gamatsu. Square Enix will host the Dragon Quest 35th Anniversary Special Livestream on May 26th at 12 o'clock Japanese Standard Time. So that's going to be late. But I still might be reacting to it. Because it's Dragon Quest. You will be able to watch it on YouTube in English, Japanese, Chinese, and Korean. May 27th is Dragon Quest Day, and to celebrate the 35th anniversary of the series, we're bringing you a special broadcast to showcase all the latest information about what's going on and what's yet to come in the world of Dragon Quest, Square Enix said. For the first time in Dragon Quest history, the show will feature live interpretation from Japanese, so that our international fans can stay up to date with developments in the Dragon Quest series too. Don't miss it or you'll miss out. Well, the broadcast will consist of the following two parts. Part 1, Dragon Quest Day latest news. Freelance announcer Natsume Uga delivers the latest information on Dragon Quest series titles currently in operation and 35th anniversary merchandise, including Dragon Quest X Online, Dragon Quest Walk, Dragon Quest Tact, Dragon Quest of the Stars, Dragon Quest Monster Super Light, Dragon Quest Rivals Ace, Dragon Quest The Adventure of Dai series, Dragon Quest series official goods, and Dragon Quest Great Demon Lord Zoma and the Island of Beginnings attraction. Part 2, Dragon Quest series latest lineup introduction. A talk show hosted by actor Joy with Dragon Quest creator and game designer Yuji Horii to announce the newest lineup in the Dragon Quest series. The following Dragon Quest games are known to be underway. Dragon Quest 12, Dragon Quest Monsters new title, Dragon Quest The Adventure of Dai, A Hero's Bonds, and Infinity Strash, Dragon Quest, Jason's favorite name ever. Dragon Quest The Adventure of Dai, console. So, I was tweeting about this morning. I'm not expecting any Dragon Quest 12 stuff. Except for maybe a small tease.
The like thing is,
but I'm not expecting. But this is what I want. I said this earlier today. I want more information on that Dragon Quest Monsters new title. Ports of 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. HD ports of 4, 5, 6, 7, and 8. Now, again, I don't expect these all to happen at the same time, but these are just like the possibilities of things I would want, and getting any of them would be great. So I said ports of those. What was the other one I said? Dragon Quest Monsters.
And
a localized version of Dragon Quest X. Which is probably unlikely, but they did think about making an offline version to localize it. And my pie in the sky thing is localized Switch ports of the 3DS Dragon Quest Monsters remakes. That's probably not happening at all. Now, the first Dragon Quest Monsters 3DS remake did get a mobile port. So a Switch port in general, that's not... that's possible, but what they didn't. Instead of doing that, they ported the original Game Boy version of Dragon Quest Monsters, which is just quite an odd move.
I think, with it being a dedicated stream and a 35th anniversary stream, no less, you could probably expect something big. Square Enix isn't one to typically disappoint with their showcases, except that one time when Shinji Hashimoto said Final Fantasy VII is coming back, and then did the PC release for PS4, and then just cackled maniacally when he knew that remake was in development and none of us did, which was such a power troll move. But what I think the DS remakes coming to Switch on a monthly or like
I think they'll be the mobile versions, but yeah,
sure, but
like 1 through 3 are.
Could be, but I'm guessing because the Switch one, the DS ones already had such a like top to bottom retooling that they might favor those. And maybe, I have no insider knowledge on this, but maybe they'll do a retooled version of Dragon Quest 7 and 8 for Switch, like something that can properly make use of the power like Xenoblade Chronicles 1 did. And they'll probably end it with a tease for Dragon Quest 12, but I think
they also said there's also a possible Dragon Quest 9 remake that they have teased about making before, but that was also a level 5 related thing, so
level 5 is
might not.
Level 5 is tied up in so many of those later games, so
8, 9, and I think just 8 and 9.
We'll see. But I think it will end with a tease for Dragon Quest 12. But I do think that
I can see that
12 releasing so soon after 11 is kind of dashing those odds of it happening. But we'll see.
Yeah. I don't know if you've heard about this, but the price of physical Dragon Quest games has gone up a lot.
You told me.
Like week or so.
Yeah.
Did I talk about it on the last podcast?
No, you just told me in Discord.
Oh, so these things are selling for like hundreds of dollars, up to like 200 depending on which game. Like Dragon Quest 8 physical is selling for up to 200, the 3DS version, and you can get it digitally for $40. So you don't need to spend $200 on the drag unless you're just really that much of a collector. I got it. I'm glad I got it when I did. Again, the last one I need is Dragon Quest 4, and it's around 115, I think. And otherwise, there's just a repro cart. So I think I'm just gonna wait for the port at this point. Even though it might be the inferior version. It will be the cheaper version. So yeah, let's just say I'm glad I did that collecting what I did back in 2019.
I mean that article you did on the collecting run you had a couple of years back is good stuff, and makes you kind of feel the nostalgia you're feeling. Next up is
let's move on to the next story.
No more PlayStation Vita games will be released after summer. Original submission deadline remains for developers. This is by Rebecca Smith for PlayStation Lifestyle. When the PS3 and PS Vita stores were handed a reprieve, now no longer closing this summer, the question on a lot of people's minds was whether or not this would affect any of the games that had just been cancelled. Would we see those PS Vita games after all? It seems like the answer is no. Porting specialist Sometimes You, that's the name of the specialist, Sometimes You, have revealed the original Vita game submission deadline remains in place, meaning no new PS Vita games will be released after this summer. This is a bummer, because for some reason developing for the Vita is still kind of like a niche, semi-niche popular thing, I want to say. And it sucks for indie developers who have one less avenue of putting their games out there. But on the flip side, it frees up resources for other consoles and platforms. So maybe a blessing in disguise. I don't know. If there are any indie developers who would like to chime in, maybe our buddies at the Indie Pod would have a better informed opinion on this. We'll let you know. Next up is PS5 shortages expected to continue into 2022. In other news, I am not getting my PS5 until 2022.
For a while.
This is by Sal Romano for Gamatsu. PS5 shortages are expected to continue into 2022, according to the Sony Group Chief Financial Officer, Hiroki Totoki. Speaking to analysts in a private briefing after Sony Group's latest financial results announcement, Totoki said it has been challenging to keep up with strong demand due to shortages in components such as semiconductors. I don't think demand is calming down this year, and even if we secure a lot more devices and produce many more units of the PS5 next year, our supply wouldn't be able to catch up with demand, Totoki said at the briefing, according to several people who attended and relayed the information to Bloomberg. So, yeah. Today, there was a Best Buy drop and a PlayStation Direct drop. So
there was a GameStop drop the other day, I think, too.
Yeah. So if you're listening to this on Friday, that would make it yesterday for you. It's going slowly, but it's going.
Okay. Speaking of shortages, those amiibo for
Monster
I
Hunter?
don't know where I was going to put that. For Monster Hunter Stories 2 still aren't popping up. And I checked. There was a site that I forgot what it was called, but it was a website that like checks when they were last in stock, and they've never actually been in stock yet. So like, it's not like they're actually sold out. They just haven't been put up yet. It's so weird. I really hope I don't miss my chance to get them.
It's probably because the NFC chips are also dependent on the supply chains that are now constrained.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I hope I don't miss out on them, because I missed out on those first set of amiibo because they were Japan exclusive, and now these ones are GameStop exclusive. And I at least have my collector's edition squared away, so at least there's something I don't have to worry about. But yeah, these shortages are not great. Next, Sony Interactive Entertainment has over 25 PS5 games in development. This is by Sarumato for Gamatsu. Nearly half are in new intellectual property. Sony Interactive Entertainment has over 25 titles in development for PlayStation 5, nearly half of which are new intellectual property. Sony Interactive Entertainment Worldwide Studios, Herman Hulst told Wired, "There's an incredible amount of variety originating from different regions," Hulst said. "Big, small, different genres." So hopefully we still get a couple of Japan-developed games.
I think that's likely, but it won't be. Probably won't be some of the smaller skewing titles.
Among those titles, few have been announced.
Yeah.
Ratchet & Clank Rift Apart from Insomniac Games is due out on June 11th. Horizon Forbidden West from Guerrilla Games and the sequel to 2018's God of War from Sony Interactive Entertainment Santa Monica Studio have been announced for a 2021 release. And Gran Turismo 7 from Polyphony Digital is due out in 2022. Sony Interactive Entertainment also recently announced plan to publish a AAA multiplayer game for Firewalk Studios and an original title from Jade Raymond's Haven Studios under the PlayStation Studios banner. A Last of Us remake is also rumored to be in development at Naughty Dog.
My big question is how many of these will be cross-gen? Because a lot of people still can't get their hands on PS5s, and it must be hurting their earnings if there aren't any PS5s to be had so that they can buy these games.
True.
But yeah, I guess we'll see at the end of the fiscal year.
I don't understand the people who are like, oh, why are people still making cross-gen games? Let's move on. It's like, because the quality suffers. I'm like, just let people, not everybody can afford a console right now. Like, yeah, but they can afford a game. It's like, one game is a fraction of the price of a whole console. So,
yeah, but separate from that, people still can't get PS5s.
Yeah, that too.
Which is the bigger problem. And whenever I hear people say they should just get off the cross-gen train and fully develop for
that's gonna hurt. That would end up hurting sales more, wouldn't it? Because less people have the PS5. And yes, there are a handful of people that do have PS5s, but like it's still not the number of people that are looking to get that are. I'm sure there's a huge gap between the people still looking to get PS5s and the people who have PS5s, you know?
Yeah.
So hopefully that we figure this chip shortage stuff out. Next is Sony is hiring XDev producers to work with independent game developers in Japan and Asia. This is actually by PlayStation Lifestyle by Rebecca Smith. I didn't see anybody else writing about this, so I thought this might be pretty important.
Mm-hmm.
When Sony decided to merge Japan Studio into Team Asobi and move external production to a more global PlayStation Studios location, players were naturally concerned as to how this would affect titles created in the country. However, Sony seems to be making good on their promise to create content suited to the Japanese market by hiring producers to work with independent game developers in Japan and Asia. The roles will see successful candidates working with the best independent game developers in Japan and Asia to find, evaluate, produce, and launch their video games. The producers will be involved all the way from the initial concept stage through the game's releases. And the hope is that ongoing partnerships can be formed between developers from these regions and PlayStation Studios XDev to develop high-quality PlayStation exclusives. The company is currently looking for a producer, technical producer, and senior producer to fulfill these roles. Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO Jim Ryan, I don't know what happened there, recently said the PlayStation 5 console will have more exclusive games than any generation before it. This includes content specifically suited to the Japanese market. Yeah, we'll see. The creation of producer roles will help with their aim of strengthening ties with Japanese developers too. The company has repeatedly said the Japanese market remains incredibly important to the company and they're not sidelining it despite the relocation of a lot of studios there. Instead, this is apparently a result of competition between the West and Japan for control of the company now that America has grown to become the biggest video game market. Japan isn't the only Asian country of focus, though. For example, the China Hero Project was also set up with the purpose of working with developers to create exclusive content for PlayStation. One of the last titles to emerge from the scheme will be Lost Souls Aside, which recently showed off 18 minutes of new gameplay after years of silence. The PS5 console will launch in the country in just a couple of days' time, with pre-orders selling out in just 20 minutes. See? There you go. So hopefully this is good news. More variety is always better. Variety is the spice of life, you know?
Yeah.
We'll just have to. It's one of those things where only time will tell. We'll just have to wait and see. We'll see if maybe Japan's support between Xbox and PlayStation this generation gets a little more even. Because right now it seems a little more one-sided.
Yeah, the thing that's also driving a lot of this development is access to Xbox and PlayStation. If people can't get their hands on it, the developers probably won't be willing to develop for these platforms for Japan, I think, but I could be wrong.
Next is Capcom financial report reveals increase in sales. This is by Kazuma Hashimoto for Siliconera. Capcom has released its financial report for the recent fiscal year. This includes a breakdown of sales through its amusement facility, businesses, and games. That includes both digital and physical sales for titles such as Monster Hunter Rise and Resident Evil 3 specifically. The financial report mentions that Capcom performed well in its physical and digital department regarding the selling of games, specifically with Monster Hunter Rise shipping over 4 million units shortly after its release. Capcom also mentions that sales for Resident Evil 3 Remake were strong and contributed to profits in the fiscal year. Overall, sales were up 16.8% from the previous fiscal year. However, its amusement facility suffered. Oh, hey, this sounds familiar. Like the Sega story. Blah, blah. Profits from amusement facilities are down 87.7% in comparison to the previous fiscal year. That said, strong sales from the Monster Hunter franchise helped generate profit for the company. This includes Monster Hunter World. The financial report ends with Capcom mentioning that the company is still looking to expand the influence of its IPs. It mentions the Monster Hunter film, oh boy, and that the company will pursue the use of online tournaments to bolster its esports initiatives. Yeah, we need our Monster Hunter Stories 2 Wings of Ruin online tournament.
I saw the first 30 minutes of that movie, and it's an experience. That's all I'll say.
I'm gonna watch it for Kaiju Zoo at some point.
Yeah. Next up, we have...
Will I survive? Well, you're gonna have to wait and see.
Monster Hunter Rise is Japan's best-selling game 2 months in a row. This is by Kazuma Hashimoto for Silicon Era. Monster Hunter Rise remains Japan's best-selling game for 2 months in a row. In a report by Famitsu, the Japanese outlet revealed sales numbers for the month of April 2021. This included total numbers sold by each game during a 4-week period, which spanned from March 29th to April 25th, 2021. Shout out to Famitsu. So, yeah, good news for Monster Hunter. And I'm sure the free update from last month or this month also is doing a lot to help these sales be driven up. And if I had to guess, there'd probably be one DLC in time for the holiday season to really clinch the top selling spot for next fiscal year, or the end of this fiscal year. Yeah, but we'll see. Next up is Resident Evil Village shipments and digital sales top 3 million. This is by Sal Romano for Gematsu. Total shipments and digital sales for Resident Evil Village have surpassed 3 million units worldwide, Capcom announced. Resident Evil Village launched for PS5, Xbox Series, PS4, Xbox One, PC via Steam and Stadia on May 7th worldwide. In comparison, predecessor Resident Evil 7 Biohazard shipped 2.5 million units in the same amount of time. Excuse me. So yeah, things are looking up for Resident Evil. Kind of bad news for me because the code I ordered got cancelled. So
what do you mean it got canceled?
Well, the new egg was having kind of a pre-release sale going on, $10 off of a game code, and I ordered mine, but some account shenanigans happened, and then the order got voided. So yeah,
you could always just get it, download it on your Xbox though.
No, I could, but I'll probably be busy with Famicom Detective Club in the coming months, and and
you can play it maybe around Halloween. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah, I'll just probably wait till it's on sale and then dive in. Next up is Nier Reincarnation English trailer pre-registration opened for the West, and I have pre-registered. This is by Sal Romano for Gematsu.
Oh, at least one of us did.
Publisher Square Enix and developer Applebot have released the official English trailer for Nier Reincarnation, as well as open pre-registration for the West for iOS via the App Store and Android via Google Play. Nier Reincarnation first launched for iOS via the App Store and Android via Google Play on February 18th in Japan. So Nier fans are eating well this year. Go Yokotaro. Okay,
yeah,
so next up... yeah, he is something.
Next up, Fatal Frame receives a facelift and revival as a patchy slot machine.
Womp, womp, womp.
People were not happy about the people from like the my Japan gaming circles, like Siliconera writers and
I mean,
they were not happy about that.
Fatal Frame is one of the best horror series out there.
I had one of them on my PS3 and only played a little bit.
I played the original on PS2, and let me tell you, that was an experience.
This is by Kazuma Hashimoto for Siliconera. The first Fatal Frame game will be receiving a facelift and something of a revival. However, the franchise will return in the form of a patchy slot machine. As part of the series' anniversary, the upcoming Fatal Frame, or Project Zero as it is known in Europe and Japan, patchy slot is scheduled to make its debut. An official trailer was released for the machine, which featured upscale visuals of several cinematic scenes taken from the game. Yamasa Next will handle production of the patchy slot machine. The company has created patchy slot adaptations of games and other popular franchises, such as Tekken and God Eater. The official website for Yamasa Next links to a special promotional website for the Fatal Frame machine. However, as it stands, only the trailer has been revealed. More details will be announced sometime in the near future. Koei Tecmo stated in late December 2020 that the developer would like to do something special to celebrate the 20th anniversary of the series. At that time, there had been no elaboration at what would potentially be planned to coincide with the anniversary. There is currently no word as to whether or not there will be more announcements regarding the future of the Fatal Frame series.
Well, they said it's an anniversary celebration this year, so there's still a chance that maybe there'll be a remaster of the first
collection
game,
or something,
or a collection, or a new title for.
Wait, Kazuma said something else about regarding patchy slots.
Yeah. And it being.
I'm trying to find it. It's because this was a couple days ago. So tell me a little bit more about your experience with Fatal Frame.
Oh, it was. How do I explain this? It was such a harrowing experience because when I'm playing horror games, it's either we're completely defenseless and you have to outrun everything, or it's Resident Evil and you have like the means to defend yourself to a certain degree.
Okay, and I found.
Yeah, go ahead.
Go on. No, go on. I haven't interrupted.
Okay. And the thing that makes Fatal Frame special is you can defend yourself, but with a camera. And
yeah,
the thing about the camera is you have to let the ghost come close to you so that you can have it.
Snap.
Yeah, basically that demon snap, and it just gets your blood pumping and adds a whole new dimension to being scared, and I just really love it.
And it does kind of these are like the Japanese types of scary thing, like things you would see in like The Ring and The Grudge, right?
Yeah, it's steeped in Japanese folklore and tradition.
Yeah, I have friends that are terrified of that stuff.
It's excellent. It's I highly recommend you play it at least once just to experience it.
So Kazuma said, since everyone is confused as to why this is happening, patchy slot is extremely profitable in Japan. It might not make sense to people who aren't familiar with the scene, but patchy slot tends to make more money than game releases. It's all about the money. This is basically just another form of gambling, which feeds into an already massive problem of gambling addiction in Japan. While gambling for cash is illegal in Japan, patchy slots are legal due to weird contrivances regarding how rewards are distributed. Not to be like that, but Capcom put more effort into the Resident Evil Zero patchy slot machine than they did with the adaptation in Umbrella Chronicles, because the voice acting was consistent and the cutscenes were extremely upscaled. Just shows how some things are prioritized. And I know there's the infamous Metal Gear Solid one as well.
Yep, it's one of the ways Capcom made a lot of money.
It's one of the only ways Konami makes money. Besides Yu-Gi-Oh! I wonder if there's a Yu-Gi-Oh! Patch slot machine.
I should have said Konami, yeah. My mistake.
Next up is... Maybe I should have put the patchy slot thing in the bad news.
Well, it's from a certain point of view.
Animal Crossing makes 2021 Video Game Hall of Fame. This is by Adriana Hazra for Anime News Network. The self-described National Museum of Play in Rochester, New York, announced the 2021 inductees to its Video Game Hall of Fame on Thursday. The inductees include Animal Crossing, Microsoft 2001, Microsoft Flight Simulator 1982, StarCraft 1998, and Where in the World is Carmen Sandiego from 1985. The larger field of 12 finalists also included Call of Duty, Farmville, FIFA International Soccer, Guitar Hero, Mattel Football, Pole Position, Portal, and Tron. Really glad Farmville didn't get in there. The Strong nominated 12 candidates in 2020, out of which the inductees included Bejeweled, Centipede, King's Quest, and Minecraft. The public can vote on any one of the candidates, with the public collectively acting as one member of the voting committee. They launched the Video Game Hall of Fame in 2015, and the inaugural class of games are Pong, Pac-Man, Tetris, Super Mario Bros., Doom, and World of Warcraft. Yeah, that seems like a... On the second, it just goes over all the other ones.
Yeah.
Pokemon Red and Green are on the 2017 list. Final Fantasy VII on the 2018 list.
Yeah, all solid picks.
I'm trying to find like a not solid pick. What? I don't know what Space War is, but that's also on the 2018 one. That's the only one I haven't heard of.
Yeah, me neither.
Maybe it's like an asteroids type thing. It's from 1960. Yeah, it says it's from 1962. So it might be the I know what Space War. It's like a proto video game type thing. Yeah, I remember hearing.
Like the OG Missile Command kind of thing.
It's
next,
yeah, kind of like that.
Okay. Next up is Xbox is making quick resume even quicker. This is by Jordan Alleman.
Let me know if you need a break from, because you have all those stories.
No, it's fine. That's good. Microsoft's May Xbox update is set to make quick resume even quicker, as well as introduce several new features, including audio pass-through and extra family controls. The full update notes can be found over on the Xbox Newswire, where it's explained that quick resume will benefit from improved reliability and faster load times with this latest patch. Yay for me, who just got his Xbox, and I mean I haven't timed it, but I assume they're not lying, so yeah. Have you noticed any of the quick resume improvements?
I don't really use quick resume because actually, you know what? I actually used quick resume by accident because I forgot to close something, which is nice. Not having to really worry about that. I still kind of worry about that just because, it's still a pretty new console.
Well, they said with the way the ROM memory works, the games can be loaded pretty much indefinitely in memory for a very long time.
I just kind of
indefinitely a long
prefer. It's just kind of a reflex for me to close my games after I'm done playing with them for a session.
No, I get it.
Like, quick resume is cool, but I don't see myself using it too much until maybe a little later down the line.
The thing is, even if the power goes out, or if you turn off your console and remove the plugs and bring it elsewhere, the game will continue from the state you suspended it in, which is really cool. So quick resume for the win.
Depending on the game you're playing, because if I'm playing a game where I can save at like any time, then I'm not really gonna worry about it. If I'm playing something like something with save points and I'm trying to do a specific thing, get a specific achievement, or finish a specific like timed quest or something, maybe that's when I would probably use it.
It's handy because you hear a lot of people complaining about Returnal, like screwing people over if they put their game in rest mode, and the PS5 has to update in the meantime, or something else has to update. Yeah, so it's a good thing for Microsoft owners or Xbox owners. Next up is Microsoft's console purchase pilot looks like a new way to avoid Xbox Series scalping. This is by Emma Kent for Eurogamer. Ever since the new generation of consoles released at the end of last year, both PlayStation 5 and Xbox Series consoles have suffered from stock shortages, and as a result of that, increased levels of scalping. The problem grew so severe that even British politicians began to pay attention. It's hilarious. And with console shortages set to be continuing for the foreseeable future, it seems Microsoft is trialing a new way for customers to acquire a console without everything being ruined by scalper bots. The new program called Console Purchase Pilot is available to Xbox Insider members in the US and offers the chance to reserve an Xbox Series X or S. Microsoft says the space is limited, however, so not all who sign up will be able to reserve a console. Okay, so to refresh, it's for people who have an Xbox One, and it's most likely going to be reserved for people who live in the United States. So keep an eye out. It is a good
this is
initiative. Great. Yeah. If you have either an S or an X series console, you can already buy the other one. Granted, they have to be in stock for you to be able to buy it, but you can just buy it from within the console's UI, which is pretty neat. Next up is celebrating 20 years of Xbox. This is by Major Nelson for news.xbox.com or the Xbox Wire. Do you remember where you were when you played your first Xbox game? It may be hard to believe, but this year will mark the 20th anniversary of Xbox. I'm proud to have been a member of Team Xbox for 17 of those 20 years. The original Xbox console was released in North America on November 15th, 2001. I almost wanted to say 2010, but it's 2001. Followed by many more launches all around the world, including Japan, Australia, Europe, Latin America, China, and more. 20 years ago, playing on Xbox meant hooking up your console with 3 or more cables, the good old days, to a standard definition CRT TVs. Remember those? You had to pre-order the hottest new game and stand in line at your favorite retail shop to pick them up. Games were played in 740 by 480 resolution, and you only had 8 gigabytes of storage and 64 megabytes of memory to enjoy them with. And you either played alone or with a friend sitting next to you on the couch. It goes on with all the things they'll be doing. There'll be activities all throughout the year. You can use the hashtag Xbox20 to share your memories. The Gear Shop has some special commemorative swag you can cop. Anniversary theme wallpapers. There'll be a fan fest, and there's also a sale going on, if I'm not mistaken, with games that really embrace everything Xbox is and have been emblematic of Xbox as a brand. So yeah, happy birthday, Xbox.
Yeah, I can't believe it's been 20 years. Like, it's cool to see Xbox, which is still like the newer of the
3 main
big
consoles.
3. Yeah, because Nintendo's the oldest, and then PlayStation. Sega, but Sega doesn't really make consoles anymore. But,
Yeah,
but like
yeah.
The current big 3.
The original Xbox can now be considered retro, so we're all old now.
Stop! Can't the Xbox 360 can also be considered retro?
I guess.
If it's the 10-year thing.
I don't consider 10.
Do you go by 20 years?
I go by 20.
That's fair.
Yeah.
Because I don't know where the 10-year thing came from, but yeah, it's like 10 years. That would mean that means Skyrim is retro because it came out in 2011.
Oof.
Yeah. So yeah, maybe 15 to 20 might be a better indicator.
Next up, we have Scarlet Nexus demo announced. Final hands-on previews, gameplay, and screenshots. This is by Sal Romano for Gematsu. Bandai Namco will release a demo for Brainpunk action RPG Scarlet Nexus, the company announced. It will be playable first on Xbox Series. And there's also an update. The demo will launch on May 21st for Xbox Series and Xbox One, and May 28th for PlayStation 5, PS4, and that's according to the game's official Japanese website. And multiple people have previewed it. You can find coverage on Game Informer, IGN, and GameSpot. Nailed it.
Oops.
Nailed it.
I was watching their Mass Effect stream today a little bit.
Yeah. So
Go check them out.
Yeah, go check them out. It's looking really fun.
The combat right now, I'm not so hot on the combat, but maybe I just need to see like a little later in the game. Something. Because it's not quite as fluid as I would like it to be, and I think it's because I'm kind of comparing it to Control, and it seems a little less. I don't know. Something about it seems a little off to me.
Fair just yet. I
don't think it is either.
Yeah.
Again, that's why I want to wait to see more. We'll see how the demo goes. I'm glad they're releasing a demo.
What do I have to say?
I hope the demo does a good job, showcasing the gameplay, though.
Yeah, it's looking or shaping up to be a very fun game. So, keep an eye out. Next up, we have the Mario Odyssey team is working on a new Donkey Kong game. It is being claimed. This is by
The whole naked banana.
This is by Tom Ivan.
I had to pop that in somewhere.
For VGC. Nintendo Life was told by an independent and very trusted source that Nintendo EPD is developing a 2D/2.5D Donkey Kong game. The report ties in with recent claims that Nintendo has brought Donkey Kong development back in-house with a view to releasing a game to coincide with the mascot's 40th anniversary this year. Leaker Zippo and YouTuber Lonely Goomba claimed to have heard of the project earlier this month. With a former writing, it's the Big Ape's 40th anniversary, and while I'm not sure how Nintendo is celebrating the occasion, there is a new 2D DK game being developed by EPD Tokyo.
So I read this. So the first time, when I first saw the story, I was like, "Oh, does that mean a new 3D Donkey Kong?" Because I loved Odyssey, and then I saw 2D, and I was like, "I'm not a big Donkey Kong fan in general." I was like, "Oh, okay," but apparently a lot of people had a reaction like, "Oh, 2D." They're like, I like the last two. I like Tropical Freeze, but why don't we get another 3D Donkey Kong game? It's like, settle down. It's still going to be a good game, I'm sure.
First of all, it hasn't been confirmed yet.
Yeah, that too. It hasn't even been confirmed yet either. We don't even know if this game is real.
Second of all, we don't know what it looks like. Third of all, we don't know how it plays.
Yeah.
I mean, it can go many ways.
Donkey Konga 2, baby.
It could also be that it's the first of many things they'll be releasing in conjunction with the 40th anniversary. So you might have one 2D game for the first half of the year and like a 3D game for the second half.
True. I didn't even realize it was a Donkey Kong anniversary.
Or, it could be a emergence of Diddy Kong Racing.
Oh my god, don't do that. Don't give me hope.
So there are many ways to approach this, and as of now, we have no official confirmation. So
Donkey Kong
I caution
128.
everyone. I mean, that joke was made today when Koei Tecmo said they'd be willing to work on a Mario Muso game, and so I said, finally, Mario 128 is possible. I think it was Nibelian or Wario.
I forgot to put that story.
Yeah.
I forgot to put that story in because it was more recent. But
yeah,
he was saying they wanted to make a Mario Muso, and that Samurai Warriors 5 is kind of like a reboot.
Yes. So, Is it disappointing that it's not a full 3D Donkey Kong game? I don't know.
I mean, it depends on who you're talking to.
I mean, it might be disappointing if you're Barrett Courtney and Blessing Adeoye Jr., but for everyone else, it might be the greatest thing ever. Well, we'll see.
October will stay in our hearts. Yeah, I've never been the biggest fan of 2D Donkey Kong games. Honestly, I've never been the biggest fan of Donkey Kong games in general. I tried 64, and I didn't really like that one either.
Erroll coming in with the hot takes.
I did like... What was the one I played?
Tropical Freeze?
No. It might have been Mario versus Donkey Kong that I liked.
Yeah,
what was the DS?
Yeah.
What was the DS Mario versus Donkey Kong with the puzzles? Was it March of the Minis or something?
Yes. I
really enjoyed that one.
That series is excellent. It also has very good humor in it.
Yeah, I liked when you're solving the puzzles with the little robots and stuff. Yeah, I liked that one. But March for like traditional Donkey Kong has never really been my thing. I don't know if 2D platformers in general are. It's pretty rare to get me to like a 2D platformer.
Wow.
Besides Mario.
Wow. Hot takes, man. Hot takes.
Yeah.
So
KO the kangaroo, everybody's favorite.
March of the Minis is the second Mario vs. Donkey Kong, and the third one is called the Minis March Again.
I'm not sure which one I had, but it was one of the DS ones.
Well, the third one is a DSiWare game.
Oh, okay. So it was March of the Minis then.
Yeah. The second one was the full sequel.
Yeah. So that... I don't know. I'm curious to see it just because maybe I'll try a Donkey Kong game.
Yeah. Maybe if you get the chance, try Tropical Freeze first. See how you feel about that.
Yeah, that's what I've heard. I've heard the Tropical Freeze Switch version is pretty good.
Yeah, but be aware of the difficulty unless you have Funky Kong.
Funky mode.
Like yeah. So, yeah.
Yeah, so I think that's it for this week. We unfortunately don't have any listener questions again this week. I don't know what's happening. You can join our Discord if you want to talk to some cool people and just DM one of us and we can let you in. We're not doing like completely random people yet just because I don't know. Just for safety precautions. We want to keep everybody feeling safe.
There's that. Join the Discord so you can debate Errol's hot takes.
Yeah, just DM one of us on like Twitter or something. If you can come in and say like, hey, I really disagree with you on this, and I was like, do you want to talk about it in this? Send you the link.
Yeah. Well,
I don't even have that many hot takes because I haven't played that much Donkey Kong.
Oh, yeah. We'll see how that shapes up this year then. But, yeah. That's been it.
We may see something at E3. Who knows?
Rumor has it, if that big thing does not drop before E3, then E3 will definitely be where it's at.
Yeah.
But, thank you for listening this week. We'll see you next time. Stay safe. Be cool. Be
safe.
Healthy. Wash your hands.
Make sure you get vaccinated if you can. If possible.
Wear a mask. Go play video games.
Keep wearing a mask. I know the CDC said you don't, but it might be safer to keep wearing a mask for a little while.
Yeah.
Depending on where you live.
That's us signing off, and we'll see you next time.
Yep. Matane.